In olden days, bandsmen would march through town gathering soldiers for battle. This became known as drumming up recruits. UVic student Matthew McLean hearkened the call. His intent? To follow the drum.
We are sailors, airmen and women, and soldiers first.
Matthew is one of 20 musicians battling for a place in the ranks of Canadian Armed Forces bands. Military musicians have always played a pivotal role, their music keeping step since the 13th century Ottoman Empire.
Tell you when to wake up, when to go to bed, when to eat, when to charge, when to stop, when to go over the top. It could be a whistle, it could be a trumpet.
Keeping time and soothing souls. Maritime Forces Pacific hosts the auditions, adjudicated by members of the Naden Band, one of 6 forces bands, a grueling process.
Mentally and physically.
We all remember that time when we had to go in and audition for something. It is the most painful experience for a musician. It's extremely stressful.
There is still a sense of camaraderie. You remember the experience positively.
Successful candidates will eventually chair vacancies across Canada.
You could be Army, you could be Air Force, and if you're very lucky, you can be Navy.
The 35-piece Naden Band began in 1940.
It's unique here. It's a family.
Serving the Navy and their community 75 years.
That's really when it's most fun, when you know you're reaching people.
Saturday night is the loneliest night in the week, 'cause that's the night that my sweetie and I used to dance cheek to cheek.
Musical ambassadors.
And that's what we do. We take the Navy to Canadians.
But there was a time when the parades, the parties, the songs of remembrance were silenced.
Those were dark times. Yes.
In 1994, the Naden Band became one of 5 military bands cut in the federal budget.
The public outcry for the fact that the band actually stood down was quite significant.
But the drums once again called the troops. In 1997, the Minister of Defense announced a restructuring of the music branch, and the Naden Band was reinstated.
Music, for whatever reason, always tugs on the heartstrings, and it always brings everybody to maybe one of the same thought.
The military acronyms are dropped. A universal language speaks, performed by military musicians who possess tremendous talent.
They love what they're doing, and you can just feel the audience and them just getting closer and closer and closer.
It's really cool when it's happening.
And I get the great joy of being in the middle of that.
Matthew's been playing 16 years. Now nearly finished his master's in trumpet performance.
We all like to have a sense that we're contributing something, and we're part of something that's important.
Petty Officer 2nd Class Robin Jutras hails from New York's prestigious Juilliard School of Music.
I'm a musician in the Navy.
She's been here 5 years.
Back home.
Happy and perhaps relieved to have both a distinguished career and job security.
Pretty much as good as any musician's gonna get anywhere.
Great benefits. The other selling point really was working with the people.
There's a sense of belonging, there's a sense of need, and there's a sense of mission. We're more than just ourselves.
Recruits are chosen based on their sight reading, their ability to play jazz, concert band, and small ensemble selections, as well as their solo performance. But the drummed-up recruits have another task. They are, after all, soldiers.
Every member of the Canadian Armed Forces has to be combat ready.
A dissonance, sometimes forgotten in the harmony they make.
You go through basic, you get trained, you come back, and then you have to be a musician again.
Matthew passed the audition onto the recruiting process.
They're going to boot camp.
And then daily rehearsals, over 200 performances a year. They are, after all, musicians, proud ambassadors.
I guess grateful or honored would be a better word than pride.
Their duty to perform marches that move the soul, songs that soothe the lonely, that honor the fallen. In a world at war,
Well, there'll always be music.
the pain and suffering somewhat muted by those that follow the drum.